Okay, here's a wild thought for you. What if the sun just vanished? I don't mean billions of years from now, I mean right now. Poof, gone. It's a classic sci-fi question, right? But the real answer is so much weirder and honestly, way more interesting than you'd think. So let's dive in and see what would actually happen.
So, picture it. The sun disappears this very second. What happens? Your first thought is probably, instant darkness, right? The world goes black, everything freezes. But that's not what would happen. Not at first, anyway. The universe, it turns out, has this built-in delay, and it's kind of weird. For a little over 8 minutes, we'd be living in a total illusion. I mean, think about that. Our entire reality would be based on a star that's already gone. We'd just be basking in its ghost light. It's the ultimate calm before a truly cosmic storm.
And the physics behind this is just fascinating. See, it's not just light that has a speed limit. Gravity does too, and they both travel at the exact same speed. The sun's about 150 million kilometers away, so it takes that last little bit of sunlight and that final gravitational pull, that last little handshake, a full 8 minutes and 20 seconds to get to us. For that whole time, we'd be completely blissfully unaware. Absolutely no idea anything was wrong.
But once that timer hits zero, once those 8 minutes and 20 seconds are up, reality doesn't just sink in. It hits us like a ton of bricks. It snaps into focus with just terrifying speed. And this is the moment that everything, and I mean everything, changes.
And the first thing you've got to understand is this wouldn't be like a sunset, not at all. It would be instant. 1 second, you're in broad daylight. The very next, absolute, total darkness. Everywhere on the planet, all at once. It's like someone just found the universe's main light switch and just flipped it off. Click.
And it's not just the sun that goes dark. You look up, and the moon? Gone. Just vanished from the sky at the exact same instant. Because, the moon doesn't make its own light. It's just a big, beautiful mirror for the sun. No sun, no reflection. It's still up there, but now it's just an invisible rock silently flying through the dark.
Okay, so at the very same second the lights go out, the second whammy hits. Gravity. The sun's gravity is what keeps us in our nice, stable orbit, but now that's gone. So Earth is just untethered. It flies off into deep space in a perfectly straight line, just like a stone let go from a slingshot. And we're moving at a staggering 107,000 kilometers per hour. And just like that, Earth gets a brand new title. We are officially a rogue planet, a wanderer, drifting all alone through the vast, dark emptiness between the stars. So, we're hurtling through space in total darkness. And now, the next catastrophe begins. The slow, creeping one, the Great Freeze. The main engine of our entire planet's ecosystem has just been switched off. And the fallout? Well, it's going to be swift, and it's going to be brutal.
It's this truly devastating chain reaction. A domino effect, really. First thing to go? Photosynthesis. It stops. Instantly. All the plants on Earth can no longer make energy. That means oxygen production just grinds to a halt. Then, the whole food chain just collapses, starting from the very bottom and working its way up. And maybe the eeriest part? Without the sun's energy driving our weather systems, the winds would slowly die down. The world would become still and silent.
And the cold comes on fast. I mean, look at this. Within a single week, the average temperature across the planet drops below freezing. Give it 1 year, and we're down to a mind-numbing minus 73 degrees Celsius. That's cold enough to freeze the surface of the ocean solid. And then, a few decades later, it gets so unbelievably cold that the very air, the atmosphere itself, starts to liquefy.
But here's where things take a really incredible turn. You'd think the oceans would freeze solid, right? Well, that thick layer of ice that forms on top, it actually acts like a giant protective blanket, a perfect insulator. It shields the deep water from the unimaginable cold of space, and it stops the oceans from freezing all the way to the bottom. Isn't that wild?
And that insulation, that's the key to everything. Because even as the surface of our world becomes a frozen wasteland, deep, deep down, life somehow would find a way. It would cling on against all possible odds. So you have this incredible split. Up here on the surface, everything that depends on the sun, it's all gone. But way down in the deepest parts of the ocean, clustered around volcanic vents, you've got entire ecosystems that couldn't care less about the sun. They run on geothermal heat from the Earth's core. For these little guys, the sun was never really part of the equation. Honestly, they might not even notice it's gone.
So the big question is, could humanity survive? And the answer is, theoretically, yes. but it would be a whole new way of life. We'd have to go deep underground, building bunkers in geologically active places like Iceland, where we could tap into that same geothermal heat. We'd need nuclear reactors, we'd grow our food in hydroponic farms under artificial lights. And as for A, well, the oxygen already in our atmosphere would last for millennia before it finally froze. So it's possible.
So you can imagine it, a tiny fraction of humanity surviving deep inside this frozen, silent planet as it embarks on its final epic voyage, just sailing endlessly through the darkness of the Milky Way.
And on the surface, after a few more decades, maybe a century, it would become a truly alien landscape. As the temperature plunges towards absolute zero, the atmosphere itself would literally start to fall out of the sky. First as a bizarre rain of liquid nitrogen and oxygen, and then as a kind of snow, coating the entire frozen globe in one last, strange layer.
Which leaves us with one last haunting question. What's the final destination for this ghost ship of a planet? Will it just wander the void forever? Or maybe, just maybe, millions of years from now, could it drift into the gravity of a new star and get a second chance? The faintest glimmer of a new beginning. Kind of makes you appreciate that big, warm star we get to see every single morning, doesn't it?